What's going on, Rinkrats? Welcome back. Good to see you. Season 8, episode 29. We are live from what will be the Draft Lottery. Coming up in about 10 minutes, the Draft Lottery is live, and we're going to be rolling to find out what happens and how the Hawks do and where the ping-pong balls go. We're here with Jimmy O'Malley and the Bard. Sean Fitzgerald will be here soon. Fellas, how are you? Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing well. I know we're all hyped up about the lottery tonight, but I am hyped up about the Rockford Ice Hogs, undefeated in playoff play, have a 2-0 series lead against the number 1 seed Milwaukee. With a win, they advance. I think it'll be the first time they'd advanced past the first round of the playoffs since I think like 2017, and they got 3 chances to do it.
Very exciting. That's good. The Blackhawks' future still working hard on the ice. Best of luck to the Hogs tonight. Bardo, what's going on?
All good. Can't complain.
All good. Excellent. Well, the ping pong balls are going to start floating around here in about 9 minutes. The Chicago Blackhawks, who with the second worst record in the NHL this year, have a 13.5% chance to land the number 1 overall pick. They are guaranteed a top 4 pick, which is kind of awesome. So they've got pretty good odds to have 2 or maybe 3. We're hopeful that it'll at least be a top 3 pick. Fellas, what's the buzz? What are we looking for here? Let's talk about the prospects right now. It seems as though a lot of the consensus in the NHL is that Schaefer is number 1 overall. This guy, Schaefer, who is it? Was it Nick Schaefer? Is that his name?
Matthew
Schaefer. Nick Schaefer. Nice. Draft lottery night. I'm getting the wrong name here. Matthew Schaefer in the CHL has been injured most of the year. A lot of people think he's still going to be the consensus number 1 overall pick. I guess it depends on who has the number 1 overall pick. This is not a Connor Bedard, Macklin, Celebrini year where it's a bona fide number 1 overall. What say you? Does Schaefer go first overall no matter what, or does it depend who it is? Bardo, what do you say?
I think it depends who it is. I think if it's a team like San Jose, who is the favorite to get the number 1 overall pick, we know that their prospect pool is heavy on the forward side and short on defensemen. I think they go for Schaefer 100%. Mm-hmm. If it's a team like the Blackhawks, I don't think they go with Schaefer. I think they go with Michael Misa because I think there's also an argument that Misa is maybe he's 1B to Schaefer being a 1A, but it's really interchangeable in my opinion. It's very, very close.
Yeah. Now, we've been hot on Michael Misa for a long time as Blackhawk fans. I think a lot of people could say, the Robin to Connor Bedard being Batman, kind of maybe it's time Connor Bedard has a running mate. Jimmy O'Malley, you've been a Michael Misa advocate for a long time. If the Blackhawks somehow land the number 1 overall pick, do they go Misa no matter what, as Bard is suggesting? Or is this something where you're going, well, maybe it'd just be easier if they got number 2 and San Jose got number 1 so they wouldn't have to make that decision?
To me, it's Misa no matter what. I disagree with a few months ago, Frank Saravalli said they would pass up on Schaefer because they have too many good defensemen. There's no such thing. Right. But I really think Michael Misa is the best forward of this draft and has a real good argument for being the number 1 pick. I think when I was researching how he did, I think he's had the best scoring output season in the OHL of a player before his draft eligible season since John Tavares. I mean, he can score. He's good. I think he has a good argument for first overall. Now, looking at the draft lottery odds, I'm looking at the top 7-8 teams. Every other team that's picking 1 probably needs a Schaefer because they need that number 1 defensive guy. San Jose, I know they have Dickinson, but I don't see Dickinson as the number 1 defenseman. You need someone like Schaefer. Nashville's right behind Chicago. I think they just need a better prospect pool in general, but I think they would go defense first. Roman Yossi's getting long in the tooth. Philly's next, same thing. They have a lot of forward depth. They need more defensemen. Boston is the first maybe. Boston's the first maybe they go forward if they get first overall. Maybe they think McAvoy is the long-term thing. They don't need another defenseman. I know they have a couple defensemen in the prospect pool, but it's not deep.
Hi, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
Gentlemen.
And everyone else from there, Seattle, they need a defenseman. Buffalo could go forward because they have a lot of young defensemen.
They could.
And
I guess
after that, kind of the same thing. So
I guess is there any scenario where Matthew Schaefer gets drafted by the Blackhawks at 1? Should they decide to do that, would you assume that maybe a young defenseman is on the move, or they're throwing in the towel early on, say, Kevin Korchinski or something of that fabric? Something that I don't think that they should do. They should go forward no matter what. But is there any chance that they just take him and then move somebody?
I think there is a chance because, as we all know, every team has their draft board and they rank them as best available. Now, when you rank your players, there is the element of need that goes into that ranking in addition to best available pure talent. So when you combine those two, the question will become, is Schaefer too talented to pass up on, or is it more, do we lean on the need side of things? So, they always say draft based on talent and not need. Well, need is always a part of it. Doesn't matter what sport it is. It always is a factor. Yep. I'm telling you right now, and I've heard this from people who work for teams in different sports. That's a fact. So it's going to come down to really what happens when you start ranking players. So it is possible.
Yeah, very possible. Here's a great question from our buddy Jake. What if the Hawks get the second pick and San Jose takes Misa? I like the way you spell that. It'd be like if the plural of goose is geese. If the plural of moose was meese, it'd be
he's
Misa.
Speaking Jar Jar Binks.
So MISA. But surefire on picking Schaefer. I'm sure my spelling's. Oh, he acknowledges. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, he acknowledges. Like, my pronunciations are always off.
Yeah, Jake.
I think the answer is yes. I think you definitely go Schaefer too, because I think the drop off. I think the drop off afterwards with those 3 or 4 forwards that are probably grouped together is a lot more significant than if you want to argue there is a drop off between Schaefer and Misa.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, I don't see a world where San Jose would pass on Schaefer. I mean, that is.
I don't either.
No.
Now that said, if the Blackhawks end up with 2, 3, or 4 and don't get Michael Misa somehow in the scenario, I still think James Hagens, Boston College, is a great prospect. If they ended up with him somewhere in the top 3, that would be awesome. A lot of people like Porter Martone, maybe big, bulky, goal-scoring forward in the OHL. I think the one that people don't talk about enough is Anton Frondel, who was playing with Marcus Kruger. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the team. Djurgårdens, I guess. Is that? I'm sure that's wrong. But Marcus Kruger was quoted as saying, this kid is real. He was saying he always wants to learn. He always wants to be better. He has a man's body right now. So I don't know if you were going 3 or 4 and Misa's off the board. What are you guys thinking? Sean, what are you thinking? Let's say the Hawks have 3 or 4, Misa's off the board and Schaefer's been picked. Who would you like to see?
I'm going with Hagens. I think a playmaker is something they need to go alongside with Bedard, and maybe, or if not Bedard, go along with Nazar. So I think if Schaefer and Misa are off the board, you definitely got to go with the playmaking forward. I think also maybe it'll help Bedard get away from some of trying to be a playmaker as opposed to score goals, because that's what they need him to do more so than anything, is just score goals. So I think Hagens would be my pick.
Yeah, that's a good one. So if it's 3, Misa's gone, we're big on Hagens. Jimmy, are you catching that Frisbee?
I'm going to have a hot take. I like Frondel.
Yeah.
I think he's a fast riser, and he's had a really good end of this year.
Big boy.
And he's a big kid, big winger. I think you could plug him in that top 6 very easily. I mean, he usually plays center, but you can plug him on the wing. He's 6 foot, 196. I like Martone as well, but I think Frondel to me is he's this fast riser. I would say if at 3, I wouldn't hate it. If it's between him and Hagens, I wouldn't hate it. Let's say we go down to 4 and it's, Schaefer, Misa, Hagens. I would honestly go Frondel over Martone. I do like Martone's size. I do think he has skill to match his size, but Frondel, something about his game play. I think he's a fast riser, and he's really impressed me out, I would say, since the new year.
Yeah. Good take. Bardo?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think getting a center here is important because when you draft, I think getting a center this high is important. Centers and D-men, that's what you do when you're in the lottery.
Hit the pivot.
Unless this, somebody is coming out of the draft that's compared to a Kane or an Ovechkin, I'm passing on wingers. I mean, you could find wingers anywhere. It's those big time centers. And, Frundell, I think the latest comp that I saw was sort of a two-way type center, second line center. Who knows? Maybe he could develop into a first line center. But to me, that's the guy that I want. And if he's like a Jordan Stahl, I mean, that's a win for me. So,
Oops, sorry. So, great call. I like the center take. I think that's a really good move. I would rather Higgins or Frondell over Porter Martone, in my opinion as well. So, I don't know. Should be quite interesting to see what they do. So, the draft is about to go live. We're going to try to at least get the sound going. For copyright laws, we can't show it to you live. But before we jump on, they're probably going to go to 100 commercials and have a lot of showmanship going on. Sean, how does this whole thing work? You said you were studying the rules. The Blackhawks, we talked about right before you jumped on, have a 13.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. Then their odds increase to get something in 2 and 3, guaranteed a top 4. But what about the rest of this thing? Other teams have other chances. How does this whole operation work?
Yeah, so first off, it's going to be the first time ever that the ping pong balls are actually drawn live. Usually they draw them off screen and then they flip over the cards. So that's going to be the big thing. So Ernst and Young is the firm. So every ping pong ball is going to have 4 numbers on it. It's going to have a code. And then when the ping pong ball is selected, the code will be given and the code will be associated with each team. There will be 14 teams in the draft lottery. If anyone jumps up, you can only move up 10 spots. So in the event that the 14th team moves up, they can only move up to 4. And then
when the Hawks moved up to 3 when they drafted Kirby Doc, they weren't supposed to be there.
Correct.
So that kind of scenario.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then they will do 2 lotteries. So they will do one for the first overall pick and then one for the second overall pick. And then after that, if there's no big rising or fallings, then they will rank it based on their records.
Okay.
So, for instance, if somebody jumps up from 9 and gets 1, and then nobody moves up and gets 2, I believe San Jose then is given 2, and then it goes down from there. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we're live. Here we go. Butcher Gross. Turn it on if you can. We got the sound.
Tracking our team reps. Weeksy. Thanks, Bucci. 16 team representatives are with us from across the world to learn the outcome of the draft lottery. And I say across the world.
Well, it sounds like we're still talking things through with Kevin Weeks here, so we still have more time to talk.
From the LA Clippers, Elgin Baylor. Oh, sorry, wrong sport.
while we're waiting,
Charles Barkley in to talk about his love of the NHL.
Yeah. So they'll probably go to commercial right now. We're still waiting to see what's happening with the draft.
Is that a Blackhawks watch party that I'm seeing?
Yeah, it looks like it. Definitely.
Is that the same room where the what's his name? The Rocky Wirtz blow up?
Oh, where Rocky Wirtz attacked the Sun-Times?
Yes.
Yeah. At any rate, while we've got the time here, while we're still waiting for ping pong balls, the Blackhawks, the one-time desirable coaching candidate of the Chicago Blackhawks, Dave Carl, has decided to return to Denver, which, again, is fine. I think a lot of Blackhawks fans, Sullivan and Carl were the 2 names that a lot of people wanted. Sullivan signed with the New York Rangers. Carl's going back to Denver. Great job by him. Oh, and we'll get to that. Here's Gary Bettman. But we're going to get to the coaching stuff soon. But here comes the ping pong balls. Here comes Gary Bettman. Here we go, folks.
Ooh. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't realize we weren't supposed to boo Gary.
So if you're watching, we got the sound.
Runs events and content said, this is such a dramatic moment. Having been in that room, why don't we figure out a way to share it live with our fans?
Well, rehearsals have gone great. It's tense. It doesn't even count.
They've had
We've
rehearsals?
Different winners every time.
Yeah.
So
Fans are going to
That's kinda
love, I
fun.
think, the interactive nature of tonight's
Were you
proceedings.
feigning applause? Like,
Started soon.
they practice their faces?
Calder Memorial Trophy is in the house. Look at that beauty. Rookie of the Year, a good chance one of the top prospects in this year's draft will win this in the near future. But for this year, here are your 3 finalists: Hudson, Celebrini, and
All right.
Wolf.
Well, they're talking about the Calder right now, so let's get back to the coaching stuff. I'm sorry, folks. We keep going back and forth here, but we're here for the draft. We don't want to talk about the Calder, and the person who really doesn't want to talk about it, Eric, is not here because his buddy Lane Hudson's probably going to win. Jimmy, how are you feeling about the coaching stuff? We wanted Sullivan. Didn't happen. We wanted Carl. Didn't happen. Nervous? How we doing?
I'm not overly nervous. I think I can't remember if it was the exit interviews or some other interview of Kyle Davidson. He had said they would throw the book at Carl, and if he didn't accept, they would take their time in filling a head coaching role. I'm a little surprised we haven't heard anything about interviews. Maybe they're waiting on the Anaheim thing.
Yeah.
I know Anaheim, they're interviewing, guys like Woodcroft and Joel Quenneville. I hear he's trying to get back in the NHL. So I'm not overly surprised. I'm a little nervous, but the Carl thing did not surprise me at all. His contract with Denver ran through 2027, and he just got an extension on top of that. So a little bit of me believes he took these interviews for leverage. He wanted to get more security out of the University of Denver, and he got it.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, good job. Yeah.
And, good business for him. So, it's not like the Blackhawks at this point. I'm really kind of in the camp of the next Blackhawks coach isn't going to be the playoff coach. He's going to continue to be the development coach.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be overly surprised if it's Sorensen again. I don't prefer that, obviously. I think what we saw was what we saw. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
But they're going to do their due diligence. I think they'll probably have a coach by the draft. It'll probably be figured out by then. But I'm not losing sleep over it yet because I don't think this next coach is going to be the make or break coach in terms of this rebuild.
Yeah, I like that take. And I guess the one thing and Bardo, want you to weigh in on this. The one thing that really drives me nuts is when this whole thing with Carl did not happen. The fan accusations that the Blackhawks somehow screwed this whole thing up, which is he wasn't theirs to lose.
He wasn't. I think the expectation sort of got a little out of control for a while because everyone thought and everyone was making that connection, and that was media driven, etc. But if you go back a couple of episodes ago on the podcast, I said that, quite frankly, I don't know really what the excitement is about Carl because, yes, he's a very good college coach, but the track record of college coaches coming to the NHL and actually being successful is not good historically. It really isn't. I think there's only one that's won a cup. Jim Montgomery might be the most recent one that's actually had decent success. But realistically, Hackstall, nothing. David Quinn, nothing. And we can keep going on and on. So to me, I really wasn't broken apart that they didn't get him. I wasn't really overly excited about getting a college coach. The guy that I've been on, as you guys know, is Woodcroft. I think, he's got head coaching experience. He's a teacher, and he was in the hotbed of Edmonton. I think he kind of got a little bit of a raw deal. Slow starts happen. It was only year 2. Yeah. So to me, I think he's the guy that I would really like to see get that job. And I think he could actually be here for a while. I think he could go through the end of the rebuild and into the postseason potentially. So I really like him as a head coach, and I think he would. Any team that gets him is going to be getting somebody good. I wasn't buying the Sullivan thing either. I just, I'd like a guy also who's never won a cup. That's also goes back to why I liked Quenneville years ago. He never won a cup, and so this was his time, and I think it makes sense.
Cool. All right, here we go, folks. Draft lottery is live. Good takes, Bardo. We'll be back on that point.
Briefcase there, and of course, to his side, to his right is NHL VP Thomas Meany. He'll be starting the clock for us tonight. And of course, Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly is here as well to confirm all of the results. So here come the ping pong balls numbered 1 through 14.
By the way, if you don't hear Calgary right now, that means they have the 5th overall pick.
1. 2.
So remember, last year we had chalk. Nobody moved anywhere in last year's draft
3.
lottery.
Chalk.
4.
And Chris loading the lottery machine with 14 balls numbered 1 through 14.
The drama of this
5.
music. Jeez.
We'll draw 4 balls in each drawing.
6.
My YouTube
I'd like to
TV
phone a friend.
watching it.
7.
The order is irrelevant, so if they come out 3, 2, 4, 1,
Millionaire.
the winning combination 1, 2, 3, 4. 1,001
10.
possible combinations.
9.
11.
10.
Come on. Boo.
We get 11, 12, 13, 14.
11.
That will be a redraw, so we can proportionally assign an even 1,000 combinations.
12.
Again, based on each team's winning percentage.
13. 14.
And again, teams 12 on down, Detroit on down, they move up a maximum of 10 spots to the second overall pick in Detroit's case. And San Jose would retain the first pick. Those 2 spots would be locked in.
Chris, please leave the balls into the machine. And please start the machine. Thomas, please start the clock.
It's fun.
So Thomas Meany starts the 30-second clock. His back is toward us, so he's not looking at the balls and the numbers floating around, and he'll just let us know when it hits 0.
It's going to be a while, folks.
Will come out
for the
the
Hawks.
chute, and we'll
This is
begin that
unbelievably exciting.
to win the draw. It begins with San Jose. They currently have the highest percentage, and we can update the percentage chances of your favorite team as each ball comes up. And again, you can follow along on NHL.com.
Draw.
Here comes ball number 1.
And the first ball is number 7.
So lucky number 7. How does that affect the percentage to win the draw? Here we go. So San Jose, you actually move up. Your percentage has increased. Chicago goes down.
Oh, come
Good
on.
ball for Philadelphia fans, and so on down the line. The Kraken, good ball for them, not good for Boston.
Thomas, please start the clock.
Not good for Boston. Drag.
So 30 more seconds till ball number 2 comes up. Again, we'll eventually have 4 balls drawn to decide who will win the draft lottery. Calgary eliminated after that first draw. So the Flames fans, they cannot move up.
It takes 30 minutes to put it on each.
So Calgary eliminated after ball number 1 as we prepare for ball number 2 to come up.
Draw.
Ball number 2.
Ball number 2 is 11.
11. So 7 and
These go to 11.
What does this do to the percentage? Wow, look at this. Everyone below the red line is out. So those teams cannot move up to 10 spots. Again, San Jose's looking good. Flyer fans up to 10-6. Seattle creeps up again to 10-6.
Thomas, please start the clock.
So ball number 3, and after this ball comes up, we'll be able to tell you what teams are left with a chance to win the draft lottery and pick first, and what ball number that you need to win the lottery. As the GMs look on,
Kyle Davidson sitting in there. You guys see him?
wondering if they're going to be the team to
Straight
get one of those top 3 players Sam Cosentino just talked to. Kind of a draft almost based a little bit on need at the top. It's so close.
Draw.
Ball number
Didn't
3.
you just say that?
Draw.
Ball number 3 is
12.
12.
So 12, 7, 11, and now 12. What does that do? Okay, Nashville, you are out. Bruins fans out. Ducks and Rangers. Look at the Chicago Blackhawks, the Islanders, the Penguins. and the
18.2%
Flyers.
chance.
Oh, even 18.2%. Wow. So that is 7 teams are still eligible to win this year's NHL Draft Lottery.
So we need numbers 9 or
So
14.
there's the winning ball that your team needs. San Jose, you need an 8. Pittsburgh, 1 or 10.
All right.
Flyers fans, a 4 or a 6, and down the line. So now you know what number you need for our 4th and final. Oh, but first,
Oh, mother.
Oh, come on.
No way. They're going to commercial.
Game 1, Panthers and Maple Leafs from Toronto.
So it looks like, folks, if you're watching at home, if number 9 or number 14 pops up for the Blackhawks, they have the first overall pick. Is that how that – am I seeing this right, Shawnee?
I think so. I'm having internet issues, so I can't pull it up to watch both.
I can confirm that's correct. I have no idea how they got there, but
I don't know. But now they've got 18.2% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. But then so do the Flyers, and I thought I saw 2 other teams with that same percentage.
Islanders.
Yeah, Boston's out for the first overall, and there's a couple others.
I can hear the cries in your background from all the people in your area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Flyboys still very much alive to get this first overall pick.
And how does San Jose only have 1 chance and the Blackhawks have 2?
I don't know. I mean, if the Hawks get the number 1 overall pick, people are going to cry conspiracy till the cows come home, and we're just going to need to be prepared to deal with it, even though there's balls bouncing around and it's visible. So they're still in commercial right now, though they're showing ping pong balls bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, it's picture in picture. They don't want anybody doctoring it, so.
That's true, yeah. They don't want anybody doing the Patrick Ewing cold wall.
By the way, I think I'm ahead of you guys, so.
You are?
I am.
Okay. So
I just saw a tweet that said the NHL Draft Lottery has turned into a really weird episode of Sesame Street.
Not bad. I'll take that.
1.
I was thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
11, 12. So anyway, we're still at commercial.
They really are making us wait.
I know. I guess we could still talk about coaches. What are your thoughts on Jay Leach?
I mean, do the Hawks really need to go through another first-time NHL head coach? I know the picking of the litter is kind of slim. I mean, it's like at that point, do you bring back Andrew Sorensen? I mean, it's like,
yeah,
what are we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, it's coaching carousels are hard to figure out. We'll see with the interviews. So we've got about 30 seconds until the lottery's back, and we find out what the deal is. Ooh, I'm nervous.
You want me to give it away?
No. Share your reaction with ours, even if you're a little bit ahead of us.
Screen.
Yeah, or turn off your screen and just listen.
Oh, come on. All right, I'll lower it. So
don't be a party pooper.
Yeah.
Okay, I just lowered it. So
don't scream before us.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Looks like it's about to come back. Here we go.
7 reps, hoping their number comes up. Kenny Morrow, the Islander legend. Of course, the Isles needed GM, so he's representing the Islanders. Kenny's got a great new book out. Check it out. The former Olympic gold medalist. Kyle Dubas, all the way from Hungary. And he's hungry for number 1 or number 10 to appear. So the Penguins win the first overall pick.
Wow. There's a lot of people that have a chance.
These are the winning numbers that your team needs.
9 and 14.
First overall pick. Islanders, Penguins, Chicago, and Flyers. You got 2 in the mix, Commissioner.
Thomas, please start the clock.
Thomas Meany starts the clock. Suni Oneonta in the house.
Suni.
And there they go. The countdown is on. What number will come up? What team will have the chance with the first overall pick in the 2025 Upper Deck NHL Draft held in Los Angeles this year at the Peacock Theater?
9 or 14. Come on now. Bardo, control yourself.
5 seconds away from the moment of truth. And here it comes.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, it's 13. Is that the Flyers?
That's Islanders.
Let's make it official, Bill Daly. Out of nowhere. From about center ice.
The winner of the 2025 NHL Draft Lottery and the first overall selection in the 2025 Upper Deck NHL Draft belongs to the New York Islanders.
Wow.
Do you believe Kenny Morrow?
Amazing.
Your team has pulled it off. The New York Islanders have won The NHL Draft Lottery.
That's crazy
Now,
town.
Kenny says it all. You have the lucky sweaters behind him. Lucky hat on top.
Wow, how about
It's
that,
the
folks?
Islanders, who need a new man in charge
That's
to make
kind of crazy.
John, stop moving.
this summer.
Sorry.
So
John,
now
We
people
have
down.
all kinds of internet issues.
determine the second overall pick of the NHL
All right.
draft. Now we'll do the first three balls kind of off camera. You'll see it happening, but first we'll send it over to Kevin Weeks to begin his process to talk to Kenny Morrow and to see what's on his mind.
No.
But while he does that, we can start the second draw.
Chris, please release the balls.
Okay, so this is
Please
huge.
start the
This is for the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the Islanders'
Yeah.
best prospects are all
It's
forward.
all yours, buddy.
And they were
They're gonna
nice.
Thank you, Bucci. We've got Ken Morrow here, Islanders
I
legend.
don't want to
Kenny,
talk to Ken Morrow.
member of that 80 Miracle.
I'll read
on
his book later. I don't care.
You've got more teeth in that smile now than an alligator. What are you feeling at this moment?
Incredible.
All right, so the New York Islanders got the first overall pick. What did they have? The 10th best odds to get it?
Nine.
I think they,
9th?
They're the ninth coming in.
Wow.
yeah,
You
they
think
only had
they'll
a
go,
3.5% chance.
Will they go Rick DiPietro again? A ball just popped up.
Kenny, what does this actually mean? You were
Oh, they
the
just
That
put
was
it
a
in.
personal
In. Okay, never mind.
Cups. You've been
They're putting the balls
so
back in.
pivotal and so instrumental in those wins.
Well, so now,
Inspirational fan.
do the Hawks still have 2 balls in there?
This first overall pick represent?
How does this thing? I don't know how this thing.
I don't know. I studied, and I clearly the test is different than what I studied.
By the way, I kind of want to bring it back to who was it? Jake mentioned this about what happens. Let's say Blackhawks sit at 2, Islanders take Misa. I have a bold take. Trade back with San Jose. Go 2 to 3, give them Schaefer, and then get some draft capital back. And the best thing you can do is be like, hey, 4 is calling. Whoever's at 4 wants him. You give us something. So you get 3, get some future draft capital, and then you still get a guy like Higgins or Frundell or Martone. That is my
Yeah.
Is anybody really wanting to move up that much? Because isn't like 5 through 10 like anybody can be ranked anywhere?
Mhm.
maybe. But here's the thing: who in the top 5 is not going to want Schaefer if they have a chance?
No,
Like,
I mean,
let's say Blackhawks are at 2, Sharks are at 3, Nashville's 4, Philly's 5. Like, do you think all 3 of those teams are making calls?
You got centers down the middle of the ice, Danny Nelson. I think this guy's going to.
I don't know. It's anyone's guess. I mean, I don't. To your point, Jimmy, you said that the Islanders they need defensive prospects. So Schaefer, they might just rip him right off the board right away.
What if he had a Matt Schaefer paired beside him? It's 6'3",
Yeah.
about 180
Hello?
pounds.
Okay. Oh, they're talking about Schaefer right now.
Grow more into that body, but a guy who can control the game somewhat similar to what Dobson does already. That's what I mean. The Islanders, based on the prospect pool, that leaning right now a little on the forward side. I think Schaefer's a perfect fit there.
Jimmy
Thanks
said
so
it
much,
first.
Cos, as always, Booch. Back over to you.
Because, I mean, they got Cal Ritchie from Colorado, and they have Yzerman.
Of course, that was John Tavares. So you saw us while Kevin was talking with Kenny Morrow and Sam Costantino. We did the first
We
3
can get
balls.
Gavin McKinnon next year.
And this is where we stand. The Islanders, they're out, so we don't have to redraw. Meanwhile, look at Calgary and Utah. A decent chance to move up 10 slots. The Bruins have a good chance to go to number 2, an 18% chance.
What?
And these
How
are
does
the
this thing
balls each
work?
team needs.
It's really weird.
Good shape. Either 2, 6, 8, or 11, and they only fall from 1 to 2.
So the
Astros
Blackhawks
got
need
2
number
with
10
4
right
and
now. If the
13,
Bruins get this
Boston at
pick, I'm
2,
going to lose my
7 and
mind.
14. One
Oh,
chance
the Hawks would fall to 4.
or suddenly they see themselves slipping down the board as well. So one more ball, Mr. Commissioner.
Thomas,
Jimmy
please
left.
start the clock.
Here we go. We need ball number
Sweeney
10.
starts the clock.
The Bruins
25
need 7 or
seconds. So
14.
ball number 4 is revealed. Again, the Islanders have already moved up all the way from 10 to 1. They will pick first this summer. Now we will determine who has the second overall pick in Los Angeles at the 2025 Upper Deck NHL Draft, held June 27th and 28th in Los Angeles. And here it comes.
Come on,
What
10.
number will it be for the second overall pick?
Draw.
Number 3.
Wow.
Who had that?
So
Utah.
tabulation
Wow.
from Scott Clark of Ernst & Young.
Is it?
But you talk about 2 Hail Marys that were answered tonight. You talk about the Islanders from center ice. It looks like this team went from about 200 feet, Bill Daly.
The winner of the second draw of the 2025 Draft Lottery, and now the fourth overall selection in the 2025 NHL Upper Deck Entry Draft to the Utah Hockey Club.
Wow. Stories in Utah, Frank.
So Utah got fourth?
Utah, look at that.
So
Utah
then the Hawks get
all the way to
3?
4. So San Jose, that's good for you. You just fall to one spot to number 2.
Then the Hawks have
the
3,
Sharks
right?
Still going to get an awesome player, obviously at 2. But man, the Utah Hockey, Bill Armstrong's feeling really good right now. For his team goes to 4, and the Sharks are happy. Last year, Macklin Celebrini goes 1 overall, and here they are. They now are at number 2 following the Islanders, and there'll be plenty of talent there available for the Sharks as Mike Greer and the San Jose Sharks continue to build what looks like an awesome team in the future. So there it is, 1, 2, and 4. We come back, the rest of the board with Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly when we wrap things up at the 2020.
Is it the rest by record?
Yes.
Yes, it's the rest
So,
by
so
record.
no less than a 4th pick, so they're going to get 3rd.
They're
So
gonna
they
get
will
third.
get. Why wouldn't they just throw it in there? Why do they make us go to commercial and wait?
Because they've got to milk it for every last second.
So it looks like the Chicago Blackhawks will pick number 3. Still a pretty good pick, but not what we thought. Because now it seems like, I don't know, the New York Islanders might take Schaefer. Then Michael Misa might end up in San Jose, which I do not like one bit. Because that, with Macklin Celebrini, that is trouble. And then, yes, Berkey, we think the Blackhawks get number 3 no matter what, because now it goes by record.
Yep.
They just wanted to go to commercial and make you sweat it out a little bit more. So it looks like the Blackhawks are going to have the number 3 overall pick. That'll probably mean the players that will be available will be James Higgins, Porter Martone, and Anton Frondel. Assuming that Matthew Schaefer will go number 1 to the Islanders and Michael Misa will go to San Jose, is anyone else disappointed?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little deflated.
Yeah.
But
we're still going to get a great player.
We're going to get a great player. I mean, to me, it's either Higgins or Frondel. I think Frondel's a higher risk, but maybe higher reward. I think Higgins is a safe pick. But I mean, it's not a bad spot to be. You pick 1, 2, 3 in 3 straight years. They're still in line to get win the lottery next year. They can get Gavin McKenna, which would be awesome. I mean, I
don't think they should finish that low. Like, they shouldn't have the best odds next season to get Gavin McKenna.
If they do, I mean, look at the Islanders in Utah. I mean, they just missed the playoffs, and
that's true. If they get 10, if they
Jake, please no.
Yeah,
Jake, joke's on you. I don't need to be disappointed to drink.
I guess if we're talking about number 3, Higgins, we talked about Higgins and Frondel earlier in the show. Jimmy likes Frondel a lot. With Higgins, is size an issue? I mean, when you think about Bedard and you think about Frank Nazar, these aren't giant human beings. James Higgins is similar in that mold. I mean, he's 5'10", a $175, and super skilled. But are they gonna seek more bulk up front as a team need? And is that where Frondel and Porter Martone become a little bit more important, or are we making a mountain out of a molehill here? What do you think, Shawnee?
I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill here. The last time the Hawks drafted for bulk as opposed to like the best position available or player was they took Kirby Doc at 3. Mm-hmm. I don't want to run into that situation again. I think if whoever's the top of their board, if it's Higgins, you take Higgins and then you figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't think Porter Martone, I don't think you take him just because he's big, and I don't think you take Frondel just because he's big. If you think they're the best players, obviously, but I think in Central Scouting, everyone I've read thinks Higgins is number 3. So
now you wonder. I mean, I think there was a lot of talk that Misa might be NHL ready next year. You might not have that with your 3rd overall now.
No,
I was just about to say that's going to be challenging part.
I mean, James Higgins, I don't think he's declared to go back to BC yet, or maybe he has, but it sounds like that's what's going on. So they're going back to the board here, folks. I'll turn on the sound, but Now it's official.
Transaction. It's the Montreal Canadiens at 16. The Vancouver Canucks at 15. The Columbus Blue Jackets at 14. The Detroit Red Wings at 13.
Anaheim at
the New York
10.
Rangers will pick at number. The Pittsburgh Penguins will pick at number 11. The Anaheim Ducks will pick at number 10.
Poor Buffalo.
The Buffalo Sabres will pick at number 9. The Seattle Kraken will pick at number 8. Number 7 belongs to the Boston Bruins. Selection number 6 belongs to the Philadelphia Flyers. Selection number 5 belongs to the Nashville Predators. The Utah Hockey Club is at 4. The Chicago Blackhawks is at pick number 3. The San Jose Sharks fall to pick number 2. And the New York Islanders, the first overall pick in the 2025 NHL Draft.
Amazing.
What a night for Utah and the Islanders as they both make gigantic
there you have it, folks.
Well, in Utah, it's going to be the first guy ever drafted by Utah in the first round. Like, it'll be their first top 5.
No, they had a Ginla last year. They were Utah at that time.
Oh, okay. Well, then whatever.
Might be the first time someone's a Utah Mammoth draft pick.
Oh yeah, first ever Utah Mammoth draft pick. There we go.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah. So who were the biggest losers of the draft lottery? I would say Boston. They dropped the furthest they possibly could to 7. Man, that's a tough drop.
Yeah, that's tough.
Ducks to 10. That's the worst they could have picked. Ducks are big losers here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when they're going to be competitive next year in the West.
Yeah. Are the Penguins 11th? Are they taking pick 11?
I do not recall, and I just turned it off.
Let me just look up draft lottery. Lottery results. Just want to make sure I get this correct. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I know we're bummed we dropped out of the top 2, but it's not the end of the world. I think
it's not. I mean, we've said all along they're gonna, if they land in the top 3, we're all fine with it, and so we need to have that. I think that in recent weeks we've all gotten really high on the idea of Michael Misa.
Yep.
And the reality is he probably won't be there at 3. Most likely won't be there unless there's something that the Sharks see, and after Schaefer will go number 1 is what it seems like. And if there's something that the Sharks see in a different style forward, but I don't know. I mean, if your 2 premier forwards or those 2 lefties, Macklin Celebrini and Michael Misa, you're going to be dangerous for a while. But now, I mean, this time last year and into the early fall, James Higgins was the consensus number 1 overall pick.
I was just thinking about that. He was really the number 1 overall guy. And, the other thing I was thinking, by the way, was, I mean, could you potentially say to San Jose, we'll give you Tampa Bay's pick and let us move up 1 spot?
Well, it's Montreal's pick. I mean, not Montreal, Toronto's pick, not Tampa.
Oh, Toronto's pick. Okay, sorry about that. So, yeah.
I would think it would take more, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they would want a prospect that's pretty solid.
Also, it kind of feels kind of moot that everybody who was debating, should they take Schaefer, should they not take Schaefer, this and the other thing, including us, that debate is done now.
I'm just going to say it. This is going to be a far more fun draft process than last year's, because last year Levchinov Demidov thing was an absolute headache for 2 months. I'm really looking forward to not having that conversation for 2 months.
I also think this isn't a 1-player draft. I don't think Schaefer is that much further away from Misa, and nor do I think Misa is that much further away from the other 3 forwards that we've mentioned. So I think it's a fairly level-ish playing field.
They'll be good players, but there's maybe not going to be a superstar come out of the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Higgins just as that good 2-way, probably second line center if Bedard and Nazar kind of become that first line tandem that we think, or he can move to wing. He's kind of shorter, so maybe they move him to wing. Martone is like an obvious winger. Honestly, any of the centers, Frendel, Higgins, even Misa, most of these top 4 forwards are probably going to end up being NHL wingers. Like I don't know if there's a pure center in this top draft right now. I think a lot of these guys have a skill set that will probably translate better to the wing than to center.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Frondell might be a natural center. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he'll be a bowling ball and crash the net, but
who knows?
I don't know. I think that the two. Would the Hawks even dare to take Porter Martone at number 3?
I don't want him.
No.
I don't think it's a horrible pick, but I think they would rather
go a little bit more skill.
Yeah, I think they'd rather go skill. I think you'd rather get those like big body, physical like specimens that you can mold into NHL players later in the draft. Like, think of like Crevier. Like, he's a mammoth of a man. You take him in the 7th because like this is the most intriguing looking defenseman probably left on this draft. He's just this mammoth human being. You know, I can see us going size with the Toronto pick.
Yeah.
That's probably the time to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's probably.
By the way, I finally looked it up. Biggest winners and losers of the lottery. Islanders jumped 9. Utah jumped 10.
That's
Sharks
the max
and
they could have
Blackhawks.
jumped. Yeah.
Yeah. Sharks and Blackhawks dropped 1 each, and then 5 through 11 dropped 2. Nashville went from 3 to 5. Philly 4 to 6. Boston 5 to 7. Seattle 6 to 8. Buffalo 7 to 9. Anaheim 8 to 10. Pittsburgh 9 to 11. And then the Ranger pick dropped to 1. And that Ranger pick belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins, I think. It's a top 13 protected. So it's technically Rangers pick, or they can just elect to give it to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, very fat. A lot of losers in this draft, really. I mean, I feel like the only 2 people that are two like fan bases that are celebrating right now are Islanders and Utah. Everyone else is pretty bummed.
I think the biggest loser is whoever explained the draft rules to everyone at large before the podcast, because the rules made no sense.
I had no idea what was going on.
I read the rules several times and I still had no idea what was going on. So,
Welcome to the NHL Draft Lottery, where the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seeming like James Higgins last year was the Demidov Levshinov. Maybe this year will turn into the James Higgins Anton Frondell debate.
Yeah,
but who knows? I don't know. I start getting your highlight clips ready. I mean, James Higgins on the top line at the World Junior Tournament this year was sensational.
Oh yeah. It's weird how like turned off people became of James Higgins, because he had a really good solid like college year.
Do you think that was just Misa just started to hit another level, or
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Higgins too is production didn't match what you saw. It's kind of like Oliver Moore, where it's like, man, this guy's better than his score sheet, but he just didn't put up those points, and you're like, is he a point producer? Like, is he going to be that guy? You know, I like Higgins a ton. He was my number 1 pick, I would say, until January, and then Misa shot up like a rocket. So, I mean, if we walk out of here with Higgins, I'm cool. I'm like,
well, and here's the thing, you know, like last year at this time, you know, where we thought, oh, there's no question that Artem Levshinov is going to go back to Michigan State for his sophomore season. James Higgins, being an NCAA hockey player, is Rockford eligible next year. So I don't know. Maybe they do draft him and try to sign him. Now, I am gonna go back to what I was saying, that I do think he might go back to Boston College for his sophomore year. It's a very real possibility, but you never know with these kids and with what's going on. I mean, he was a point per game player at Boston College on their top line. Team underachieved. You know, was a first round exit in the Hockey East playoffs, which was shocking when Northeastern beat them, and did not make it to the Frozen Four.
And that gives me reason to think he might go back. You know, a lot of guys do that, where they're like, oh, like, I'm kind of disappointed with how the season ended. I kind of want to give it one more shot.
Yeah, and they're getting paid anyway.
Yeah, he's going to get paid anyway.
And he gets some. So, and then he'll be facing off against Sasha Boisvert to start the season. Like the Battle of the Commonwealth, the 2 guys in the face-off dot, when that puck is dropped, will be Higgins and Sasha, which actually would be kind of cool. And then they would
Misa could be there. I hear he's interested in BU.
Could be
if he goes.
Could very well go. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, either way, 2 first-round picks and the 3rd overall. I mean, if you told us all 3 years ago that the Hawks were going to go 1, 2, 3 in the next 3 drafts, you would have signed on for it.
Absolutely.
If you had told me we'd be 1, 2, 3 with Connor Bedard and a chance to get his cousin Gavin McKenna the next year, if the lottery balls kind of land like they did this year, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's ride.
Yeah.
I will say one thing though, aren't you just really glad we're not defenseman prospect hungry right now with this result?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we're like, oh God,
there's going to be one. Is he going to be the only defenseman taken in the top 10?
There's one. It's like Murtka or something.
Yeah, but it is not what it was last year.
No.
It was a very rich defensive pool last year, and we took the best one on the board.
Yeah. Like the current best defenseman behind Schaefer is right-hand defenseman Radim Murtka. He's with the Seattle Winterhawks. And after him, it's Sean Aitken, Logan Hensler, which, by the way, Logan Hensler, wasn't he like a top 5 pick going to be a 2025 top 5 pick like this time last year, and he's just fallen off the face of the earth?
I don't know.
I remember him a lot.
Iserman type fall.
Oh, yeah.
Now they got Schaefer and Iserman in the last 2 drafts. Islanders, wow. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. You got the guy who's going to cover Iserman when he doesn't come back into the zone.
Do the Islanders even have a general manager to make the pick currently? Because Lou Lamoriello is out, and I don't think I've heard of a replacement.
No idea.
Guys, I am going to throw this wild card out there
Do it.
because I live here on Long Island. Don't be surprised if they go for James Higgins. I'm going to throw that out there.
It's funny you said that, Bardo, because a Twitter account, hold on, it's an actual, I retweeted it. They put it out there because Higgins is from
Smithtown, my hometown.
Yep, he's from Long Island.
Yeah, Smithtown, baby. Yeah, so don't be surprised if they do that. I mean, Long Island is a separate thing from Manhattan, and so for the opportunity to get a homegrown kid first overall, there's going to be discussion about that. You watch.
I hope you're right.
I hope so too.
I'm going to push for it here.
Bring it on,
dude. Start the rumor mill. Start tweeting it out, Bart.
The New York Islanders go. Yeah, start tweeting it out. Start it.
I'll be his agent.
Retweeting the hell out of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the Islanders go homegrown, that means Schaefer goes next to San Jose, and then Michael Misa goes to Chicago.
It's. Let me tell you something. We're only 15 minutes removed from the draft. Don't be surprised. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm rooting for it. Indeed.
Yeah. Speaking of the draft, do we want to announce that this year I will be hosting the Rinkcast Draft Podcast? That's right. I will be here hosting the show. You guys will be joining along, coming in and out of the show as you please. But I'm very excited to announce on this show that yours truly, the Jamester, your Rockford Ice Hog insider, just kidding, I don't know that much, will be hosting the Rinkcast live draft party. That's right. It's going to be a party, everyone, because it's going to be a Friday night, and we're going to have a good time. And we're going to be very excited for the Blackhawks take at 3. I'd love Higgins. I'm praying it's Misa by some miracle. I'm hoping Bardo's little mission takes fruit, because that'd be freaking awesome. But I'm very excited. I think the very exciting part too will be we'll have a pick at the beginning of the first round and a pick at the end, so there'll be constant action. Oh yeah, thank you, Jake. Yes, the Rink Draft Party. We're gonna have a party, everyone. I want everyone to join in, have fun, join in the comments. I'll try to be very interactive with our audience. If it's 1 or 10, I don't care, or any amount of people in between, I'll try to interact with you guys. It'll be a ton of fun. We'll give out more news as it gets closer about what time when we'll start. I'm thinking I'll probably start a couple, maybe like 15, 20 minutes before the first pick, just to get some thoughts. And probably by that time we'll have a new coach, so there'll be more things to talk about. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you gents are also looking forward to that show.
Very much.
Hell of an endorsement.
A lot to unpack there. First off, who came up with the name Jamester? Because that's terrible.
That's off the spot, man.
Okay.
I mean, that's off.
But
the
the rest of it, I am excited for, and I might be on remote at in St. Louis, Missouri.
Enemy
you might see me
territory
for a little bit.
I might drop in for the Hawks pick and then drop off. We'll see. But Eric Andrews and I will be releasing our mock draft as well, probably a day or two before that.
I'll definitely be talking about that during the show. That'd be a lot of
last
fun.
year we got 9 picks right, which we will not get this year. 9 times.
9 times.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how predictable do you think this draft will be compared to, let's say, the last 2?
Oh, I think it's going to be very unpredictable. I think I would go as far as unpredictability on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll go 8.5 or 9.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know. It seems like there's the top
2 picks.
Yeah, top 2 picks, and then it's just what is going on after that. I don't know.
Yeah,
and even then, the top 2, I don't know. Like Islanders could take Higgins, Misa, or Schaefer.
Right.
I was just going to say I just turned on the Twitter and this guy Peter Schwartz, who I follow, and he's on WFAN. I believe he's an Islander fan, and he actually said he tweeted out, "Bring him home" at Islanders, and it was a picture of Higgins. So
I've seen a couple.
I'm telling you, there's going to be a groundswell to get him.
Yeah, BR Open Ice just tweeted James Higgins ? From Long Island, New York, and there's a picture of him in his Islander jersey growing up. So I don't know. Boy, that would be unreal.
Yeah, I was about to say the only guarantee I would say is if they go Higgins first overall, Sharks are running up to the podium and taking Schaefer. That's the only guarantee I can have.
Yeah, there's no question that Schaefer will be gone by number 3. It's just a question.
My Higgins is number 1, then Schaefer 2 to the Sharks, Misa 3 to the Blackhawks. Like that.
That would be awesome. We'll see. I still think the Islanders are going to take Schaefer, but Bard, I really hope you're right. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. There's going to be interviews, all sorts of stuff. I mean, Bard, to your point, I mean, I'm sure the Islanders bring him in and they say, what would it mean to you to be a Long Island kid and to play for the New York Islanders? And, that could mean something. We'll see.
You have to understand something. He's a center. One of the things, I know the Islanders have a great new building and that the shine on that new building is going to wear out if the team stinks. And you can get a kid who, look, he was projected to be a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, 6 months ago.
A year ago. 6 months ago. Fine, 6 months ago. But you know something? He's only fallen now to what, top 3 to 5? That's not a far, dip.
And the other thing, everyone is so high on this guy Schaefer, but he has been hurt all year.
Yeah.
Eric Andrews has said it plenty of times. I've never seen a draft prospect get this much attention for someone who was shut down in December.
Yeah.
Who is not being talked about in this fabric until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when you think about it, conceptually, it's a little weird.
I don't know what his comparison is, and maybe you guys do, but I'm going to throw a name out there because I from what I'm reading and seeing, if he's Eric Pietrangelo from what's his name? From Vegas.
Vegas. Alex.
I mean, I'm sorry, Alex Pietrangelo. Is that a superstar? No, but it's a number 1 defenseman and a cup winner, a potential Norris Trophy winner. That's fine. I mean, he's not Paul Coffey, but
you want to hear Central Scouting's comparisons. This is from I'm going to butcher his name, Mike Morelli. This is from April 2nd of this year. Schaefer, his possible NHL comparison, Zach Werenski. Higgins, Clayton Keller. Michael Misa, Steven Stamkos, Portamatone, Corey Perry.
Ew. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the other ones. I don't see Frendell. I didn't see one here. Roger McQueen, he had Alex Byfield. Maybe.
Zach
I'm trying to find other comparisons, but that's the first one I can come up. That was from Central Scouting. Makes sense. I mean, Clayton Keller, I would draft Clayton Keller the 3rd overall pick. Yeah. Breakout year this year.
I'd rather get the Stamkos comparison, though.
Yes.
Misa would still be the dream. Yeah.
Here's
not ruling it.
Wendell. It's top line scorer, shooter, power play specialist. So he's a scorer.
They definitely need that. They definitely need more goals.
Yeah.
To me,
yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's Frendell or Higgins. I don't think there's a bad pick there.
Yeah. Different regime, Jake. We'll be okay. We'll be all
Jake,
right.
you want to hear a funny story? I was at a Cub game when the NHL draft it was the year they took Kirby Dach. I was at a Cub game, and I was so angry at the idea of drafting Kirby Dach. I created a burner Twitter account called Don't Draft Kirby Dach, and I started spamming everywhere about the Blackhawks not drafting Kirby Dach. That account has now been deleted, but yeah, I was very anti-Kirby Dach.
Deleted or banned? We're not sure.
Yeah. It's maybe it's just out there in the ether, and I don't know. I can't remember if I deleted the account, but there's like no I know there's like no tweets there, but like I went on a rampage the day of the draft being like, I don't want Kirby Dach. I don't want Kirby Dach. then they drafted him. I was pissed at a Cub game, and the Cubs ended up losing. So it was a pissy day for me.
Cool story, Hansel.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Olaf. All right. Let's we've approached the hour. Let's shut it down for the night, folks. Go watch the Ice Hogs. Who are they still winning right now, Jimmy?
They're up 2-0 in the series. They play again Wednesday night in Rockford.
It's a red out. They just announced
a red out.
Red
And
out. So wear all your red Ice Hogs jerseys.
Go bleed for the Hogs.
I will be there. I will be there Wednesday night. I have press credentials. And if a game 4 is necessary, that will be Friday night, also in Rockford. I will also be there with press credentials. But let's hope we don't need Friday. Let's finish it off on Wednesday. Let's keep this undefeated playoff streak alive.
And Toronto's about to drop the puck with Florida, which many people think will be a mercy killing for Toronto. Very well could be. Expect a track meet tonight. I think there's going to be a lot of goals tonight.
I need to ask Eric, what with Toronto making it past the first round, if they lose here, what's the best possible pick the Blackhawks could get from them?
It's late 20s.
It'd be like I saw like on a mock draft simulator, it was like 27th.
Yeah, that I wouldn't expect it any higher than unless it's probably 27. I wouldn't expect it higher than 26 at the most, just because they've already made the playoffs, and unless they win the Stanley Cup, they're not going to get 30. So,
yeah.
All right, folks. Well, the Chicago Blackhawks will have the third overall pick in the 2025 NHL entry draft. More on this coming as we break down more analysis. So they're going to get a pretty darn good hockey player. Yeah. And in a shocker, the New York Islanders will be selecting number 1 overall.
Utah at 4.
Utah at 4, number 2, San Jose Sharks.
So, sure.
And then let's make sure everybody knows the first round is the only round that's drafted like this. Then it goes by record from here on out after the first round.
Correct.
The Blackhawks will have the second pick of the second round.
Correct.
So that's like 3 of the first 32 picks.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Good place to be.
Yeah, it is a good place to be. Yeah. Well, be well, sports fans. Thank you for tuning in. For the Bard, Jimmy O'Malley, and Sean Fitzgerald, I'm Andy Campbell. Thanks for listening. Go Hawks. More on this in the days to come. See ya.